Florida Governor Ron DeSantis is giving an update on Hurricane Helene. Let's listen in.
40 miles per hour. It is moving northeast at 24 mile per hour. Hurricane force winds are extending up to 60 miles from the center of the storm, and tropical storm force winds are extending 300 miles from the center of the storm. I'm joined here, of course, by Kevin Guthrie, the Division of Emergency Management Executive Director, as well as Dave Kerner, Executive Director of the Florida Highway Patrol. We have had a report of a fatality on the roadway, car driving on I-4 near Ybor City in Tampa was hit when a sign fell onto the highway. So that just shows you that it's very dangerous conditions out there. You need to be right now just hunkering down. Now is not the time to be going out. Not only are we seeing it hit landfall here in northern Florida, you're still seeing surge and water rising in parts of Florida far south from the Big Bend area. So you look at southwest Florida, you look at the Tampa Bay area, you're seeing really significant amounts of surge. There's going to be streets that are flooded and will continue to flood all up and down the west coast of Florida. So it's hazardous conditions right now, and please, do not be going outside until things settle down. We know that travel on the roads can be hazardous, and we typically, unfortunately, will have fatalities in every storm from that. When you are out on the roads in the middle of one of these storms, that is very, very dangerous. So please do not do that. Stay put. Also, if you're sheltering in place, know your surroundings in terms of trees. You are going to see trees that are going to get knocked down. I'm sure some have already been knocked down. But you have these 140 mile an hour winds hitting here in North Florida. This is going to extend. I mean, you're going to have hurricane force winds that are going to extend across a couple counties to the east and west of Taylor County. And that's going to cause trees to fall down. If you are in an area where you have that, please take precautions there. Treat it almost like a tornado as that's going by you for there. We have many major bridges that have been closed throughout today at various points. Most of the major bridges, of course, in places like Tampa Bay have been closed, and they will be open as soon as it's safe to reopen them. We have FDOT, they're standing by. As soon as it's safe, they're going to go in there, do the inspections, and get those bridges open again. You may, if you're here in North Florida, you may have a period of calm when you are in the eye of the storm. Just understand that storm is not done, and it's very, very hazardous to go out for there, especially with how fast this storm is moving. You're going to be putting yourself in jeopardy if you try to go out in the middle of the eye wall of the storm. We are going to see down power lines. Those are very hazardous as well. Please do not mess with any down power lines in and around your home or anywhere you may come in contact with them. Also, be very careful about standing water. People get up in the morning when it's light out. There's going to be standing water in a lot of parts of this state. Don't go trudging through that. There's going to be a lot of hazards that could be in there, and just please be mindful of that. The storm is going to pass, and when it does pass, you're going to have still going to be dark outside. Do not go out in the pitch black trying to navigate any debris or anything. That's just not going to be the safe thing to do. Wait till you get light and you can take stock of what's going on in your property and govern accordingly from there. When you're using ladders, please be safe with that. We do have fatalities involving people climbing on ladders, trying to get to their roofs and falling, and that happens almost every storm. Please just be very careful with that. And also, of course, there's going to be an enormous amount of debris in various places, and you could have down power lines, you could have dangerous objects. Just be very careful when you're around the debris. Also, be careful about using a generator do not use a generator inside your house. There have been power outages. There's going to be more power outages. You can use a generator, but make sure you're running it outside your home. Keep it away from windows and keep it away from the doors. We have not had fatalities in the more recent storms with misuse of generators, but that has happened in the past, and this is something that's very much avoidable. So the state is ready as soon as this storm passes and it's safe to do so, to commence search and rescue operations. We have 3,500 National Guardsmen standing by. We have our state guards standing by. We have state troopers standing by, and they will be active if need be. And I know we have a lot of our local first responders are going to be ready to be able to be on scene as well as needed. We're also going to be ready for road clearing. There is going to be debris on the roads. We want to get these roads open. We want to make sure that people can travel safely. And so our Florida Department of Transportation is standing by for cut and toss operations, and those will begin as soon as it's safe to do so. They're also going to go in and inspect the bridges so we can ensure they're safe and can be reopened. They have 40 large pumps to be able to pump water out of areas that have flooded, as well as almost 700 generators. And then, of course, another mission is going to be power restoration. We have tens of thousands of linemen that are standing by. I think people have seen some of the pictures that we've seen from TECO, from Duke Energy, from FP&L, and they are going to be on scene probably as soon as it's light outside in the morning. And so you'll have all day Friday a full day worth of power restoration. I think they're going to get a lot done. Obviously, we're going to have to navigate this debris, and hopefully they're going to be able to have easy access to these power lines. But this is a priority to be able to get the power restored as quickly as possible. And then we're also standing by to help with disaster supplies for people that need them. We have meals ready to eat, of course, the water mission, bottled water, Starlink internet devices, fuel for folks who may need fuel. So that all is standing by and ready to be done. And there'll be a lot more that is going to be done as circumstances warrant. If you need assistance, non-emergency assistance after the storm, you can call the State Assistance Information Line at 1-800-342-3557. Now, this is not for emergencies. If you are in a situation where it's emergency, you make the normal emergency calls. This is for non-emergency assistance involving the aftermath of the storm, and we urge you to call that number if you need help. So we are here. We're going to face the storm in Tallahassee. I think we're on the west side of the storm, but I think the winds are actually going to be very, very significant. And even though the eye of the storm has entered into Taylor County, you are absolutely going to see major, major gusts in Jefferson County, in Wakulla County, in Leon County. That's going to happen. So we'll be here at the EOC through that process. And then when it's safe to kind of be liberated from here, we're going to be out and about surveying the damage and coordinating the response.